We're on.
Let the mayor, let her. Can we switch the seats around? Coño. Call to order.
Ms. De La Vega? Ms. Perez? Mr. Rodriguez?
Here.
Mr. Tundidor is absent. Mr. Zogby?
Present.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Mr. President, you have enough members to conduct business.
Thank you very much. Please take the invocation led by Marbellis.
Lord, we pray for the city council and for the agenda set before them today. Please guide them in benefit of those who live and work in the city of Hialeah. Amen.
Thank you. And our pledge allegiance by Mr. Junco. Everybody face the flag.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Meeting guidelines, please.
All lobbyists must register with the city clerk. As a courtesy to others, please refrain from using cellular telephones or other similar electronic devices in the council chamber. A maximum of 3 speakers in favor and 3 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the council on any one item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. No signs or placards in support of or in opposition to an item or speaker shall be permitted within the council chamber. Any person, whether participating via the web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on matters of public concern or on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may address the City Council on any item pertaining to city business during the comments and questions portion of the meeting. A member of the public is limited to 1 appearance before the City Council, and the speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Individuals should be respectful of the elected officials and staff that are on the dais and make every effort to speak with a moderate tone using appropriate language and avoiding personal attacks. Members of the public in the audience shall refrain from shouting or making remarks from their seats to the mayor, council members, or staff sitting on the dais. The public can view public meetings on the city's YouTube page. Presentation by the Parks and Community Engagement Department regarding the athletes, staff, and coaches of the Special Olympics.
Hello. Yes, please. Good.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, council members, Madam Mayor. My name is Cynthia Benitez. I'm the Education Supervisor for the PACE Department, ECS Division, and it's my pleasure to introduce Genesis Torres. She is our Education Coordinator for the Edgar J. Hall Special Population Program, and Coach Gary with Extreme Foundation.
Coach.
Hi, everyone. I'm Genesis, and this is Coach Gary.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Coach. Hi.
Okay, so the presentation is just a little recap with some of the pictures of our weekend at the Special Olympics State Summer Games, which was in May. This was a very special competition for us because we were able to surprise the athletes with a trip to Magic Kingdom. Before their competition, they had no idea. They didn't find out until we were pulling through the Magic Kingdom sign, and you can imagine the excitement. We had a fantastic day. For many of them, it was the first time, and for many of them, it was the only chance that they probably ever have to make it to Magic Kingdom. That was on Thursday, and then on Friday was the actual competitions where we competed. Can we get this? Okay. So those are some pictures from us at Magic Kingdom with our matching Hialeah pink shirts. And then we started our competitions. We had the opening ceremonies, which Special Olympics hosts at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. It's very special. They have the torch lighting, they have police. We represent on our different counties at Special Olympics. So it's not just Miami-Dade, it's all of Florida. Some more pictures of our athletes. And we competed in basketball. It was the first time in 7 years that we made it to the state championship. The last time we made it, I was pregnant. Yes, we made it and we won in overtime by 2 points. So it was a very exciting game. Here are some pictures. As you can see, it was very emotional for our athletes and our coaches. They worked very hard for it. We also had bocce and track. It was the first time that our teams made it to state ever. We had our relay team who got first place and our bocce team who got second place. We also had some athletes compete in singles. They also got first and second place. And thank you. At the same time, we had a tennis competition going on at a different venue in Orlando, where we had our athlete play in match play, which she got second place, and we had individual skills who got first place. Just a quick thank you to our unified players. We couldn't have done it without them. They dedicated many hours of their time to guide our athletes and get them to there. I want to thank our coaches as well, who dedicated days and nights with practice. And of course, we want to thank Special Olympics for having us and for providing everything for our athletes while we were there. And a special thank you, he's not going to want me to do this, to my husband. He's Hialeah police, but he's also unified partner. He's been with us for 7 years since the first time we did our team. So he's been there every year till now. I'll give the mic to our coach.
So I'm obviously Coach Gary. So many emotions right now. I've been coaching for 23 years. These last 2 years have been the best 2 years I've ever coached any team. As a coach, what you always want is effort. They bring that every day. We had just won the championship game, and the first thing that came out of their mouth, "What's next, coach?" And I'm like, "We haven't even celebrated yet." And they want what's next, and it's always what's next for them. And as a coach, they've been doing this for 23 years. That's what you look for in an athlete. And these are the best athletes I've ever coached in my whole entire career.
And finally, we want to call up from Special Olympics, Sergio.
How are you guys doing? I'm Sergio Ziquez. I'm the Regional Director for Special Olympics Florida. I want to start by saying thank you to the city of Hialeah, the Hialeah Parks and Recs Department, and everybody here for their continued support of Special Olympics. For those that don't know, we currently help over 80,000 athletes in the state of Florida, and the city of Hialeah is a staple in our program that you all should feel very proud of in supporting our athletes. Over the last 12 months, Hialeah has hosted our spring camp, where we had 60 athletes for 2 weeks in the city of Hialeah for free to enjoy. We've had numerous competitions, so thank you for that. Most recently, last year we had our Miami Fall Games, where over 600 athletes came together from the entire South Florida to the city of Hialeah to compete for a chance to go to regional games. So thank you guys for being the hosts of that. I'm also excited to say that we're coming back to the city of Hialeah this year to have those games. So we invite everybody here to cheer on your athletes and be part of this, because I know it means a lot to them. And in addition, we're excited to congratulate the city of Hialeah winning gold at the state, and in last weekend winning silver at our basketball league. And none of this could be possible without the support of so many, but I want to just do a quick shout out to Willie, Gian, Genesis, and Patty for their continued support for Special Olympics. So with that, thank you to everybody here. Again, your support means everything to these athletes. We do it for our athletes. I like to say every time I speak, the stars are always right behind me. And so thank you guys.
Well, I want to start off by congratulating not only our stars, but the coaches and thanking you guys for the work that you do. I want to thank Special Olympics. I had the pleasure of sitting down with him and having an intense conversation of the work that they do. And it's very inspiring. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing for the special population. And we can go down. I have a little something to hand.
Through the chair, you mind if I just say, I just wanted to say also thank you to the coaches and Coach Gary and Genesis and to all the athletes. I had the privilege of watching them a couple times, especially last year during the regional games. And I know many of them mentioned that their wish was to make it right to Orlando. So I'm so proud of all of you. Congratulations. And I hope that we can continue to go to their games and participate and support them. But congratulations to all of you guys. Very proud of you. Everybody up here is proud of you. I got it. Literally the few things. Does it look loud? I don't know. It does. Better now. Wait.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know who it is, but what's his name? And we will just have to add it to the agenda. And when he says it, it's perfect. Okay, thank you. Está bien.
You're doing it for.
That's not mine. I just saw mine had different names. Here's the good one.
Monica, Monica. Monica. Hola, ¿dónde se lo I'm sorry.
No, sorry. It's this, Carl, this is yours.
No, I have one.
Yeah, but this one says green.
Uh-huh. Very picky. All right, Madam Secretary. You the best.
Comments and questions?
Comments and questions.
First registered speaker or the only registered speaker, Jose Ozzie.
Ozzy. Take your time, Ozzy. Give me a second too. No.
You're letting them know.
Hi, good evening. Jose Alzi, 788 Southeast Park Drive. Yeah, I want to congratulate the Special Olympics. That organization was started by John F. Kennedy and it's still going strong today, and they do a great job. I've talked before about the history of Southeast Hialeah, especially the Southeast part where I live. All the gentrification that's going on. We have the DOT's doing a project to bring a ramp over Lejeune Road so it doesn't over Okeechobee, so it doesn't stop at Lejeune, and they're gonna bring a ramp from the 112. Factory Town has purchased over 12 properties in that area. We have new high-end furniture stores popping up, and 37th Avenue hasn't even been finished by Dade County. You know that area is a little tricky, like what becomes Hialeah. So if gentrification is done right and we bring the right projects, that's good. What I want to bring to attention, there's a huge project coming up, right? It entails 8 properties, 2 blocks, and we're going to give them a street. And nobody's aware of this project. On 37th Court, there's 4 properties. By law, they have to advertise it with those orange signs. They didn't put up the orange signs. Nobody knows that Waste Incorporated is going to increase the size of that. And they don't want to put in writing that we're not going to get additional trash. Not just additional trash, but the trash from City of Miami, Coral Gables, Miami Springs, and Miami Shores. So they're saying we're not going to get additional trash from that, but they don't want to put it in writing. There's a lot of items there that are not answered. If you look at the planning and zoning meeting, the director of planning and zoning, they were asking, going back and forth, and she said, this is a complicated project, let's move on. This project is very complicated. And Mayor, I want to ask you if you consider tabling this item. You know, one of the problems we deal with is transparency, right? You could bring transparency to Hialeah. If this is a good project, everybody's going to go for it. If this is a good project, the residents of Hialeah are going to find out, right? And then we haven't got the compliance, all these reports we haven't gotten, the impact studies, none of that. Can you consider tabling it and letting the Hialeah resident know what's going on and then proceeding?
Ozzy, she doesn't decide that.
Through the chair,
Yeah, through.
if I may.
Yeah.
Aze, you've been with us 30-something years. The mayor does not sit in the zoning meeting. She doesn't table any zoning items that is beyond her purview of authority. That
Okay,
would be
can one of you,
be us.
can you
I
consider?
will not, this is not the time that we are considering that item. And aside from that, the item will be on first reading. So we don't have to commit to anything now. You've
No,
stated, but
that's
I
what I'm
want you to
asking.
know that.
Yeah, of course,
But
of course.
no,
Thank you for
none of us are
clarifying
gonna
that.
commit to that.
And I want to remind you, like CVS, which is 2 blocks away, all the promises they made, they brought a high-end lobbyist, Cesar Lazardi, and all these promises, and it was all a lie. I mean, don't take these companies for what they say, you know? If there's a covenant, they're not going to bring additional trash from other cities. The city has a big problem with trash, State County. We don't have to solve the problems of Hialeah. We do what's best for Hialeah, and please consider those covenants, and please consider
Thank you, Ozzy. Thank you.
clarifying all those issues that
Thank
were
you.
not clarified in planning and zoning. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Next item, please.
Announcements of amendments and corrections to the agenda. Zoning item 16M is postponed until the city council meeting of June 24th, 2025, per the applicant's request, and the proposed resolution for consent item E has been amended.
So, council members, any item being pulled? Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We got a first and a second.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes. Sorry.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco.
Yes.
Motion carries. The consent agenda has passed.
Thank you. Hey, I'm so sorry. I missed board appointments. Apologizes.
Item 9A, proposed resolution appointing Javier Collazo as the mayor's representative to the Board of Trustees of the Employees Retirement System, commencing on the effective date of this resolution.
I
Thank you.
motion yes. Very qualified gentleman.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
We got a first and a second. I
Ms. Perez,
Is he here? I saw him.
think I saw.
Okay. Yes.
Is he here, Monica? or-
I don't know. I can't, I guess not. Nope,
Okay.
he's not here.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you. Next item.
Thank you.
9B, proposed resolution appointing Wilfredo Perez as a member of the Defined Contribution Plan Committee as the mayor's appointment, commencing on the effective date of this resolution.
I motion. I hear he's a good guy.
Second.
We got a first and a second.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes. Yes.
Ms. De La Vega.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Item 9C, proposed resolution reappointing Quentin Webb as the Florida Council 79 AFSCME representative to the Board of Trustees of the Employees Retirement System, providing for a retroactive term beginning on January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026.
I motion. He is special, Quentin Webb. He's one of the great ones we have. My motion is yes.
Second.
We got a first and a second.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Item 9D, proposed resolution reappointing Stephen Dealman to the Personnel Board of the City of Hialeah as the Florida Council 79 AFSCME representative, providing for a retroactive term beginning on June 27, 2024, and ending on June 26, 2026.
My motion is yes, and he has a beautiful mane of white hair, which makes him, fit for this job. Yes.
We got a motion. We didn't get a second? Can I have a second?
Second.
Got a first and a second.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Item 9E, proposed resolution reappointing Michael Rosengaus as the FOP Lodge 12 representative to the Board of Trustees of the Employees Retirement System, providing for a retroactive term beginning on January 1st, 2025, and ending on December 31st, 2026.
Motion. Very qualified for the job.
Second.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. 9F, proposed resolution appointing Ismari Monreal as a member of the Defined Contribution Plan Committee as the mayor's appointment.
Have a motion?
Is she here tonight?
I don't know.
Motion. Motion.
Second.
I'm gonna take that away.
I motioned twice. Does that-
Emotion.
Okay. We got a first and a second.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega? Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Item 9G, proposed resolution reappointing Marcelino Moreno as the city council representative to the Board of Trustees of the Employees Retirement System, providing for a retroactive term beginning on January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026.
You're in a motion,
Motion.
would we? I don't want to break your streak.
Please, motion.
At the
Monica.
same time.
Motion, I want to second me?
Second.
Oh, we're not gonna break your streak. Got it. Good.
We got a first and a second.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Item 9H, proposed resolution appointing Luis Antonio Morales as a member of the Planning and Zoning Board for a 2-year term ending on June 10th, 2027.
Motion. Second.
Luisito's here.
Yes.
Hey, Luis, congratulations, sir.
The motion was De La Vega?
Yes.
Yes.
Second, Perez.
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Congratulations.
Item 9I, proposed resolution appointing Vivian Casal Munoz as a member of the Oversight Committee for the City of Hialeah Elected Officers Retirement Trust for a 2-year term commencing on the effective date of this resolution.
Motion. Second.
Does anybody know her? Second. I second the motion.
I second first.
He also has a.
Oh, you did?
He also has a great.
You've
ninja
broken
power.
my winning streak.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Item 9J, proposed resolution appointing Douglas Cordovi to the Personnel Board of the City of Hialeah as the mayor's appointment for a term not exceeding 2 years, commencing on the effective date of this resolution.
Motion. Oh.
Second. Second.
We got a motion and a moment.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. So, sir, now we're on the administrative items.
Yes, please. You know, it's funny. Okay.
11A,
Yes, ma'am. Continue, please.
second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance amending Chapter 70 entitled Retirement and Pension, Article 4, Employees General Retirement System, Division 5 entitled Benefits, implementing the changes to the retirement system contained in the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Hialeah and the International Association of Firefighters Local 1102 for firefighter members. In particular, revising Section 70-238 entitled Service Retirement Allowance, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for interpretation and savings clause, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, items in second reading and open to the public.
Eric Johnson, Hialeah Firefighters Local 1102. First and foremost, thank you to former Mayor Esteban Bovo. He actually successfully negotiated 2 contracts with the firefighters because he believed in recruitment and retention. We thank you. We humbly thank you. It's a big change after being at war for 20 plus years to have a satisfying contract. And we look forward to working with the council and the future mayors to keep people around. We want to keep them here. We just don't want to train them and let them go and send them to other cities so they can have the best firefighters known to mankind. Let's keep them home. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that.
Motion.
Second.
We got a motion and we got a second. Mayor?
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Next item, please.
Item 11B, first reading of proposed ordinance amending the Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2 entitled Administration, Article 4, Purchasing and Competitive Bidding, Division 2, Competitive Bidding Procedures, enacting a new Section 2-815.2, entitled Suspension and Debarment, providing the authority for and the reasons for the process and procedure followed by the city for suspension and debarments, including notice to the vendor and the ability to protest the action, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
I'm sorry.
First reading, sir.
Do we
The
have?
chair?
Yes,
If I may, I could briefly summarize this for you, if you wish.
please.
Okay, so the purchasing code doesn't have a debarment or suspension section. That's relatively standard in purchasing codes. It's infrequently used, but it's if you have a vendor who is a bad apple and, for example, is found to be defrauding the city or submitting false or inflated invoices to the city or billing for work not done, or is convicted by a court of fraud, then the purchasing director, after consulting with the finance director, can recommend, after meeting with the vendor, it's not just done unilaterally, to suspend him for up to a period of time, or debar him, which means that he can't get city contracts for up to a period of time. If the vendor doesn't agree, they do have a right to file a protest, the way it's already set forth in the purchasing code, and then it would come before council for a decision. But if they don't object, they'll get suspended.
Gotcha.
And it's not something that's frequently used, but there was just nothing there about that.
Okay, thank you.
Motion.
Have a motion. We got a second.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry, one thing I forgot to say, there is a typo in subsection 7, which says vendor issues a false certification pursuant to subsection 3. That's going to be corrected to just issues a false certification pursuant to this section. It's just a clerical typo. We're corrected, but I wanted to report it. Sorry. Thanks.
Thank you.
What's that?
Item 11C, first reading of proposed ordinance approving the ground lease agreement between Marcia Flats LLC and the city of Hialeah, and waiving the competitive procurement requirements set forth in section 2-904 subsection B11 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Hialeah for land located at 300 East First Avenue and 67 East Third Street, Hialeah, Florida, and identified by folio number 043118 001-1150 and 043118-001-1170 to site an affordable workforce housing development consisting of 58 units granted through a long-term lease pursuant to section 2-904 subsection B, together with such rights and duties as more fully described in the lease, a copy of which is attached hereto and made a part hereof as Exhibit A, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk as a testing witness on behalf of the city to enter into the lease agreement, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, how you doing?
Good evening.
Name and address?
Yes, Danny Milian on behalf of Marcia Flats. Wanted to go ahead and let the board know that, we've been working with the city together for the last 18 months to get to this point. I'm excited about this project, and I'm here for any questions you all may have. And I know we're here on first reading.
Okay.
If I may, through the chair.
Yes.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
This is the location where the Blanche Morden Neighborhood Community Center is, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so right now, ironically enough, I think I'm looking at the ordinance, it says June 10th of 2010. So in 2010 is when they developed the ordinance that we
Wow.
came into like a lease agreement, and we gave them like an annual amount to lease at this building. I'm just curious, in your space, are you going to have somewhere where maybe we can still offer this service at the location that you're developing as a resource? Maybe the attorney could walk me through it. Is this something that we still engage in in that annual, I believe it's 21,000 that we give them to service there at this location where they currently are.
Well, I have to be candid with you. I don't have any knowledge of that particular funding for that provider there. So I would have to defer to others for that. I will tell you that if the applicant says, you have a term sheet for this lease, and so what it provides is that it's for affordable workforce housing, 58 units.
Correct.
AMI, they have to pay the city 25% of their gross revenues in effect. And they are allowed, they have to use it primarily and singularly for affordable workforce housing, but they are allowed to have ancillary related uses, there. So this would be something, because honestly, council member Perez, I don't think this has ever come up before to me, so I don't have any knowledge. of
Right
it.
now,
So,
that location, it has the Blanche Morgan Neighborhood Service Center. And it's also like an AIDS coalition, and they service the community of Hialeah for many years at that location. So my question is just to see if we could still offer them to run that resource center there. And moving forward, can you
Yeah.
help me with that?
Hi, Ismari Montreal, CF, well, I was gonna say CFO, COO. So all the leases that we had in that space were month to month. Most of them, because of the condition of the building, have already left that space. So the
Neighborhood.
Yes.
Resource is no longer servicing.
they are in the process of moving out. And so, yeah, across the street. And then, but however, there will be service space on the first floor of this building that's being proposed. And at some point, we could offer services in that space as well.
So can we have that conversation with them and see if they're interested in maybe
Coming
instead
back
of
after
having,
the, yeah,
instead of having to go across the street, maybe we could do some arrangement that,
so the current building is in a very bad state and that will be demolished.
right,
So once the new construction is done, they might be able to come back.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, council members, anybody else, or can I have a motion?
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
And we got a second.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 11D, first reading of proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 2025-021, attached as Exhibit A, which amended Chapter 78 entitled Solid Waste, specifically removing the strike-through of Section 78-160 subsection 3A, A3, A2, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Any opinion from the council?
Motion.
Second.
We got a first and a second.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 11E, first reading of proposed ordinance with attachments scheduling a special primary election to fill the office of City Council Member Group 3, setting Tuesday, November 4th, 2025 as the date of such election, a special general election runoff to be held on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, if necessary, and establishing the qualifying period during business hours no earlier than 12 p.m. noon on Monday, July 7th, 2025, and no later than 5 p.m. on Monday, July 28th, 2025, and describing persons qualified to vote in said election, designating and appointing the city clerk as the official city representative with respect to the use of such registration books and records, directing the city clerk to give notice of this ordinance and its adoption in the manner provided by law, and transmit a certified copy to the Miami-Dade County Supervisor of Elections, providing for the Miami-Dade County Supervisor of Elections to conduct these elections and all matters related thereto, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Got it. Thank you. First reading?
Through,
Yes,
through the chair.
granted.
Can you read the item again? Okay, this is simply what the good news we were waiting for. We have to have a special election to fill the vacancy created by the mayor, Madam President at the time, Group 3. Her seat was Group 3. So she vacated her seat by rule of ordinance to become interim mayor. So we have to have a special election. And thank God we were able to confirm dates that run concurrent with our regularly scheduled election on November 4th, primary, followed if necessary by a general election December 9th. No adverse financial income to the citizens, to the residents of the city, no extra cost. So we're able to have the election and we're not being charged for it. We don't have to have a separate election. So that's what this is. And I guess I can motion my own
You could.
my own item. I motion.
We got a motion? Can I have a second, please?
Second.
And take roll, please.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Hey, we agree. Yeah, we agreed, right? Next item, please.
11F, proposed resolution supporting and adopting the Hialeah 2050 master plan and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's a pleasure. Claudia Hasbun, Interim Planning and Zoning Official. It's a pleasure to be here presenting our Hialeah 2050 Master Plan. I'm joined tonight actually by the majority of the team that worked in the project. So we have a presentation. I'm going to introduce Mr. Juan Molerat from Prosurbia. Maria.
Good afternoon, Council, Madam Mayor. We're very pleased to be here today. It's a very special day for us. Not only it's my birthday, but it's also your birthday, so happy birthday, Madam Mayor. But I'm really also especially happy today, even though I haven't gotten my cake yet, because we are at an end of a 2-year project that we've been working really hard on with our team. Go to the next slide, please. So we put together a couple of years ago, at your behest, a group of people. Go to the next slide, please. Professionals that would begin to put together a vision for your 2050 master plan, and this is at the getting ready for your 100-year anniversary. We included team members like transportation engineers, multimodal planners from EXP, mobility experts on freight and parking. We also brought Urbe Studio, who's an expert on complete streets, the Corradino Group planners and transit engineers, TOD experts, and also Kure Penavad architects, local architects that know the intrinsic nature of our housing and the type of architecture that we have here in South Florida. And lastly, our firm, Prosurbia, we led the project in order to create that vision that you requested. So let me get a little bit into the project. Again, I will be brief. Go to the next slide. The project goals, you're already on that slide. So the project goals was to create this 25-year long-term plan that allowed you to have a vision of how Hialeah can evolve within this next 25 years into a better city for your residents. We did this, first of all, by listening to your residents. We had a number of public outreach events that I will give you in a little bit more detail. And then we began to take everything that we learned from them, meetings with your professionals as well, your planning department, as well as other departments at the city. And we began to put together a vision, a plan that will guide and create and put together objectives that will set forth the way to grow and the way to make a better place to live for your residents. We also wanted to make sure that mobility was improved. We know that that's a huge issue for you, not just in order to connect people, but also to move around within the city and in and out of the city as well. But also key destinations that currently seem to be disconnected by improving both transit as well as vehicular traffic and mobility from the pedestrian and bike infrastructure that you have and that you should be looking at improving, as well as improving public spaces and support your local economy. All that in the interest to ensure that you would capture and you would guide future growth in a way that it is feasible and that it builds upon the identity and the character that your city has today. Go to the next slide. So we're here today, like I said, 2 years later, almost 2 years later. We're 1 quarter shy of 2 years. The project was divided in really 3 phases: the discovery and evaluation that gave us a sense of who you are and what you need and where you're at, and then public engagement. As you can see, it took about a year, and then the master plan development that we worked with your team. Go to the next slide. I want to stress the public engagement because it really took a lot from us, but it was extremely rewarding as well. And in collaboration with your different departments, we had more than 30 bilingual events within the 1 year. We led workshops and walking audits. We walked with some of you, we walked with your department, we walked with residents to really give them a sense of how the streets are and what are the things that they're missing and that could make their life better. We had open houses where we showed where we were with the project and how we were evolving it to get additional feedback throughout the evolution of this project. And we did that in different formats. We also had online tools. We had a website. We still have a website that you can go to, Hialeah2050.com, where you can find all the information that we've been collecting over the last 2 years. And to summarize, we've done honestly more outreach in this project than we've done in any other project, and we believe that Hialeah deserved it because you have a very diverse community that required a lot of attention, and we wanted to make sure that they had it and that they had a voice in this plan. You can go to the next slide. So ultimately, no, you skipped the slide. Ultimately, we've produced, Maggie, would you like to do books? We produced these reports and we're giving you a preview. Your planning department ordered some books that were supposed to be here, and you were supposed to have the final books so that you could see the work that has been completed within this last 2 years. But I believe that they're going to arrive in the next couple of weeks. I was going to say days, but you will have hard copies of those books for your perusal and also to guide you. We wanted to make sure that this wasn't just a report that becomes a PDF lost in your inbox, but rather something that you have at your offices and you can use in order to guide future. Yes, ma'am.
So all the books are different, right? A pink is one thing, green
Yes,
is another.
there's actually 4 books. One of them is missing, which is the big one. I think it's the one that's over 200 pages. But don't be afraid; they're very readable. They're very graphic. The books they go from we collected everything on public outreach. So you'll see. I see some faces of confusion. Can I answer any question, Madam Clerk?
Yeah, give me 1 second to have a question for you. Sorry. So threw me off the pink, different colors. So different, this is. So they're each different.
So you have several copies there of 3 different books. The ones that you have in your hands are public outreach, which is the collection of all the material that we collected from the public outreach. You also have the existing conditions, which is where you are at now, and it basically collects the state in which your infrastructure, your parking, your your parks, etc. are, and those two lead to your district plan and your general master plan. The general master plan is the one that you're missing.
Gotcha. Okay. Question, for the public, are they gonna be able to go on the website and see that? How does that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the books that you have are printed. And you will see also that there's a QR code right there that people can use, screenshot, or take a photo of. All the books are in PDF. They're on the website.
Okay.
We have transferred ownership of that website to your planning department.
Gotcha.
Who can continue with not only what's there today, but also they're able to edit the website and update it every time that some of these projects move forward or things change, because cities change and the objectives may change over time.
Okay.
So that is available to you. Again, we've transferred the domain over and we've transferred the management over of that website. And the books are on PDF, so anybody can print them. I encourage not to print too many because there's a lot of pages and you kill a lot of trees, but they're available online and are available for the public to download.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
So they're there and they're, again, for your perusal. It's 2 years of work. So we're very proud of the work that we've done and the commitment and the collaboration that we've had with your different departments. Go to the next slide. And not just your departments, but we've worked with Miami-Dade County. We presented and actually got a unanimous resolution to recommend approval for this vision, this master plan by the TPO, the BPAC. Also from your zoning, your planning and zoning board, as well as with the guidance of the advisory committee that included DOT and many agencies from both state, Miami-Dade County, and your own city departments. So all those have helped us move the project forward. Go to the next slide. And complete this Herculean task. The master plan, which is, again, the book that you're missing, even though you can see the district plan, which has a little bit more detail. So you're missing the one in between. But the master plan covers 4 specific tasks. The first one is urban design and land use and quality of life. And that takes into consideration many things, but more than anything, what really seemed to us very important was the sense of place and the building of your public realm. What makes Hialeahans proud, the streets, how to connect, and how to make a city not just livable, but beautiful. The second part was access to transportation, mobility, excuse me, and connectivity. And that's basically how to connect with each other. Right now, it's very difficult because of the conditions of your streets and your sidewalks and the lack of biking infrastructure to connect between different households or different neighborhoods. It's dangerous to cross some of these avenues. So we've presented some alternatives and some ways to pedestrianize and to improve those streets. And then the third one is infrastructure and public services, supporting the current and the future growth of the city, which in essence takes into consideration the way that you're growing, how you're going to grow within the next 25 years, and how to ensure that the projects that you put in place capture and are adapted to that growth. So what you do today is already looking to the future residents here the residents that are here today and the residents that will be coming in the future. And then finally, the fourth one, no less important, and we thought that even though it's a single item, but we thought that it was important to have it itemized, was the parking and parking management and what strategies you can use in order to improve the conditions of your streets. Because parking at the end, it is very present in your streets. It's both in the public realm on public roads and parallel parking and perpendicular parking, but also how people park within their properties and how that becomes very visual in the street and creates a certain feel for the way that the properties look and your city looks. So we've created some strategies. We've provided some strategies. We've provided some objectives and some potential solutions that you can look into to improve the life and to make your city more livable within the next 25 years. I'm going to pass it on to Maria, the project manager, who will guide you a little bit more, show you a little bit more about these 4 points.
Thank you. Good evening. So next slide, please. So as Juan mentioned
Maria,
before.
I'm sorry, Maria?
Yes.
Sorry, name and address, please.
Yes, sorry. Maria Benfeld, 6066 Southwest 48th Street, Miami, Florida.
Thank you.
As Juan mentioned before, we focused on 4 different focus areas in the master plan. And out of the public outreach and all of the existing conditions analysis that we did, we came up with a list of needs for these four tiers. Some of them include increasing a sense of place and identity for the city, the need for a wider range of housing types, increasing enforcement, increasing a mix of uses that are closer to houses and office spaces and work, enhancing and improving and expanding the open space network, safety for all modes, that includes bicycle and pedestrians, the need for a comfortable and frequent transit system, improving multimodal facilities, balancing truck traffic activity, planning for flood mitigation, also parking enforcement, increasing water and sewer capacity for future development of the city, and the need to manage on-street parking and loading areas. Next slide. So the first tier, or the first focus area that we're going to be talking about, is the urban design, land use, and quality of life. Here, some of the key recommendations were to strengthen the neighborhood's identity through design, supporting buildings and areas that where people can live, work, and shop close by. Also protecting the single-family neighborhoods and allowing for more housing types close by, and encouraging designs that promote human interaction, and making public spaces more welcoming and accessible. Next slide. So before we started crafting the detailed recommendations of the master plan, we developed this plan where we identified key opportunity areas. So you'll see 3 different colors there. 4 different colors, actually. The yellow is the single-family residential areas, which we wanted to protect. That was one of the things that we heard over and over again in our public outreach efforts, and so that was one of the main objectives in the plan, to protect the single-family residential neighborhoods. So then we developed 3 tiers of opportunity areas. The ones that you see in the purple are areas that are strategically targeted because of their location, their regional influence and resources and infrastructure. Those are the regional opportunity areas. And then the next tier would be the urban city centers and corridors, which you see in the pink. Those are urban centers that have a citywide influence, typically where major transportation routes are present. And then finally, the neighborhood nodes and corridors, which you see in orange, which are identified as focal points for local activities and services. So, and they're meant to be walkable and accessible and respecting the single-family residential neighborhoods. Next slide. And so this is an example of some of the recommendations for 49th Street to enhance Hialeah's identities and the community spaces. Next slide. So the recommendations include, strengthening some of those spaces, adding shade, safe and comfortable sidewalks, public spaces, proposed improvements and safe crossings. Just a vision to reflect the community and strengthen its local identity. Next slide. So the next slide, yes, thank you. So the next slide shows you some of the nodes and corridors that we identified in the master plan to create walkable and vibrant corridors and nodes that serve commercial and cultural anchors in the city. The goal is to create walkable, vibrant districts with shops, different types of housing, public spaces. And next slide. And this is an example of Palm Avenue, of some of the improvements proposed for Palm Avenue. Next slide.
So focusing on human scale design, gradually removing backout parking from the front of the buildings and providing safer sidewalks and streets, utilizing alleys to park in the back, promoting pedestrian focused streets and frontages with trees, lighting, safe crossings. And of course, this reflects some of what I've been mentioning before, respecting the transitions to single-family neighborhoods. So as you can see, we are proposing scaled back, if you start with 3 stories and then you scale back down to 2 and then 1 story so that it doesn't, so that there's a proper transition to the single-family neighborhoods. Next slide. So another one of the goals is to enhance and expand the open space network. About 68% of residents live within a 10-minute walk to a park. That's pretty good. That's much better than any other city in South Florida. But unfortunately, not all parks and routes are safe for walking and biking and accessing them, especially for kids and seniors. There are still gaps, and the plan recommends filling in some of those gaps. Next slide. So this is, some of the areas where, for example, including the Hialeah line as part of the open space network, or for example, one of the proposals is to convert the parking lot that you have right here in front of City Hall into a multi-use plaza or flexible space, gathering space that could anchor and create, a pleasant plaza in the heart of downtown, and also you will see there in the yellow areas how that gap starts to fill out. Next slide. And this is an example of the extension of what we're proposing for the FPL Eastman Extension Park of Timothy Artman Park. This is the crossing on West 60th Street. And as you can see, the idea is to transform the easement into a corridor, expanding the Timothy Artman Park and utilizing the space as a community asset. Next slide. And this is another example, and next slide, of how to activate Hialeah Heights, the Hialeah Heights community and the park that's in front of it through design and improvements in the bicycle and pedestrian network. Next slide. So another one of the goals is to broaden the range of housing types. So accommodating diverse income levels, family sizes, and lifestyles. This means, right now, finding alternate ways for what's existing right now, especially in single-family neighborhoods right now. Some of the houses are divided in 2 or 3 units, but unfortunately, they're dominated by cars that are blocking sidewalks, and there's not enough space to plant trees, and there's limited walkability and landscaping and public gathering spaces. Next slide. So our very talented team of architects that are part of our team developed these missing middle housing prototypes that were developed in collaboration with the planning department and other departments in the city. They vetted these prototypes, and the idea is to create to have options for these multiple units in one lot, while still creating community. There's opportunities for porches and stoops and reclaiming the spaces in front of the properties. There's room for the grandmother to sit on the porch and watch the grandchildren play ball on the streets. And this is how you get to know your neighbors again. This is how you start building community again. So the master plan proposes considering these pre-approved missing middle types, allowing, to streamline the review process and permitting process, because this has already gone through the planning and zoning department and, fire department also vetted these prototypes. It lowers the cost for property owners or small developers. And so, these can be implemented in increments over time. And so next slide. So they were developed like in interior lots, for interior lots at a 50 by 100 lots or corner lots. So there's variety and there's options for developing these prototypes. Next slide. So the next focus area that we developed in the master plan is the access, transportation, mobility, and connectivity. The key recommendations are to provide and increase safety for all modes, creating a stronger bicycle and pedestrian network to improve connectivity throughout the city, increase access to reliable transit and to the regional network, and improve first and last mile connectivity, and also increase access to community destinations and amenities, and balancing truck activity. Next slide. So the plan makes it easier and safer. It proposes ways to make it easier and safer to get around the city, whether you walk or bike or take transit or drive. First, the plan proposes better transit connections and a better transit system. So what you see in the orange is the central spine. The plan doesn't necessarily specify the mode, but the idea is that central spine is a dedicated premium transit line where other feeder routes connect. So the future transit vision connects neighborhoods to key places and also to the regional transit system. So that it also connects to the metro rail stations and to the tri-rail stations that are already in place. It also proposes mobility hubs that will act as the community stations for safe and convenient switching between buses or trains or the local options. And of course, improving first and last mile travel, that will also help alleviate traffic in the city and provide other options to moving around.
If I may,
Next.
through the chair,
Yes.
which portion of, or in which book is this part of the transit?
In the book that's missing.
Oh, that's the one that's missing.
Yes.
Got it. All right. Thank
Yes.
you.
Which is downloadable. You can see it.
It's on the website.
You don't have it. Yeah, you don't have it right now in a printed version,
Right.
but it's on the website. It's
Do
the
we get
master
to
plan
keep these
recommendations.
Do we keep these books? The ones that were given to us?
Yes.
The other books are coming, like the planning department.
I don't know. I just started
Yeah.
earmarking some pages already. I don't know if
It's
it's fine
okay.
or not.
Yes.
Sorry.
You can keep those that are marked over.
Okay. And not with a pen. I just earmarked the whole set. I know, but
Getting in 2 weeks.
the whole set. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we tried to get them on time, but unfortunately it's, so then let me see, next slide. So the other, one of the key recommendations is improving access, connectivity, improving access, and creating a stronger, bikeable and walkable environment in the city. So to make streets safer, connecting schools and parks and the existing network, and also a citywide streets plan that helps redesign roads, some of them, to be safer and more comfortable for people, and not just for cars. So for example, we are proposing some improvements to West 12th Avenue. We're proposing some of multi-use paths along some of the canals, such as the Gratney Canal or the Little River Canal. Shared use paths and separate bicycle lanes where possible. And overall, the goal is to be more connected and to create an active city for everyone. Next slide. And this is an example of what we were proposing for West 12th Avenue at the neighborhood node in Palm Springs. So this was done in close coordination with Miami-Dade County. This of course will require close coordination with Miami-Dade County for implementation, transit access, and of course infrastructure improvements. And so we've made in the recommendations, you will see very clearly where it needs to be coordinated with the county, where it needs to be coordinated with FDOT, with other departments in the city or the county or the state. Next slide. And this is another example of the proposed canal along West 28th Avenue in West Hialeah. These are just some of the examples in the recommendations. And next slide. And then this is an example of the proposed separated bicycle lane in Hialeah Heights on West 36th Avenue. Next slide. As you can see, there's no, the lanes, the vehicles are not, I mean, everything is the same. It's just adding, shade, lighting for pedestrians and the separated bicycle lane on one side. Next slide. And then the next couple of chapters are, about public services and infrastructure. So fixing the drainage and preventing flooding and mitigating for flooding, protecting neighborhoods that are most at risk, especially during storms, upgrading old water and sewer systems to be able to stay reliable for the years to come, and improving fire hydrants, keeping the neighborhoods safe while maintaining and adding more hydrants, and making streets safer and more pleasant for walking and with shade, etc. So these are some of the examples. Sorry, next slide. So these are some of the examples of flood mitigation, improving drainage and infrastructure, and implementing green stormwater solutions. Next slide. And then finally, the parking chapter. Some of the recommendations include improving regulations, introduce smart parking, and expanding the shared parking provisions, and stronger enforcement, and innovative tools like based pricing or maximizing the use of existing spaces that you already have in the city. Next slide. And these are some of the examples of curb management and reclaiming of some of the swales in the city to be able to plant more trees and to manage on-street parking. And next slide. And as Juan mentioned before, you can scan that QR code or go to hialeah2050.com, and you'll be able to see all of the documents that we've produced. You'll be able to also see some of the results of the surveys. We have online tools. We have all of the maps are available also online that you can, interact with them. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this was
Thank you.
short.
Claudio.
Thank you. So with that, thank you so much. I just want to take a second to thank the team. It has been an effort, and thank the city also for the opportunity for us to work in these 2 years of long range planning for the city. So I appreciate it. And if we can get a vote for the adoption of the master plan, so we continue working on seeking for funding, for grants, and for other opportunities that now we have a vision for the next 25 years.
So Claudio, I don't want to say, sorry, Mayor. I don't want to say every question that I've had, any complaint or concern of the citizens is pretty much in the plan going forward. So even from our parking issues, et cetera, I'm not going to go through it because it's a lot. So thank you, and thank you for the team. That's probably since we got elected, the noise and the roadblocks and the heartaches of our citizens, it fixes here. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Mayor.
Echoing that, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to coming to Hialeah and taking the time of going with them places and working on this. This is something that's going to be really good for our city. I love what it looks like. I love what it's going to look like. I love the idea. So thank you once again.
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
Oh, did I? Trying to change the trajectory of a fully developed, urbanized 100-year-old city is almost impossible. It's like turning the Titanic. It's slow, it's messy, it's a challenge. You guys have worked very, very hard at this, and I hope and pray that we'll be able to see it materialize. But I know it's going to be slow because it's a matter of when new developments come, when people buy up the old stuff and demolish it and build again, then they'll have to abide by our new standards and our new codes. It's going to be slow, but it was about time to start the turn. So Thank you for all your hard work.
The process as far as getting permits, and it's gonna be much easier. They don't have to go through a long process.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I also wanted to just thank your team. Everything looks great. I think it addresses a lot of concerns too that have been raised to our office too, right? A lot of the parking on sidewalks. I think this addresses that issue. Improved path of walking and bike lanes. So I think all this is all good for our city. So thank you for the hard work. 2 years it probably went by
That's right.
pretty quick, but I know it took a lot of work. So thank you.
Thank you.
And if I may through the chair, it's really interesting, just, you know, the one little book that I got. I would love to quote one of the facts that you included, that you said that Hialeah has, for all of you that don't live here, they love to say that our traffic and our cars, and it's very dangerous to drive here. We're 4 times safer than other cities here in Miami-Dade County. We only had 560 car accidents, so I love the fact. I love this little graph too that you included. You know, as the parking variances, as they compare to different, you know, the framework that we have for different establishments. I would love to see a comparable of like other municipalities, and just to compare what they allow in their parking requirements, just to see where we, you know, stand. Because you did quote that we are, you know, more high and extreme compared to other locations. So I would just like to see that with other locations. And thank you for taking the time to go on site, to go to the mall, to go to our parks, to Publix, and really collect this data. And then to, you know, have that website where people were able to conduct the surveys and get the polls. I think it's very telling, and it helps us do our job better, right? Because we have an accurate you know, numbers and percentages of what is expected, and compare it to other cities, because we always want to be the best. And even though, you know, I see that the homework was done well, because like Councilwoman De La Vega said, a lot of the complaints and things that we hear on daily, it's being recorded here as one of the more difficult topics to address. So thank you for collecting this information, for being so professional, and for always presenting, you know, timely throughout the last 2 years. You've always come and checked in on us, so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Through the chair, I just have one more question, because I know we, and I appreciate, I think our residents appreciate too, right, that we got feedback from them. I attended the one in the annex area. There was great, you know, attendance there. So down the line, will we be showing them the progress, or how is it that we're going to let the residents know what's going on?
Definitely, as we work through our progress, there's going to be a series of forms. You're going to have policy to review and to propose. There are going to be projects that they're going to come in front of you, and hopefully the majority are connected to the master plan. So there is going to be several variations that you're going to have that opportunity to showcase that this is what we heard and this is the results that you're going to have.
Awesome. Thank you.
I just
Thank you.
wanted to add that if you go to the news section in the website, you already see some of the fruits of the master plan, even though it hasn't been adopted or anything. There's already things happening that we posted on the news section.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Motion.
We got a motion,
Second,
and we have a second.
Mr. Zogby,
yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
I'd like to thank your departments. It has been wonderful to work with them. Without your departments and the leaders and the staff that you have at your disposal, we couldn't have done this.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate that.
they deserve as much of a congratulations as us. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Next item, please.
Unfinished business?
Nope.
No business?
Nope.
And zoning?
So I do want to make a comment. We have a birthday,
Are we singing?
and sorry. So happy birthday, Mayor. You're getting younger by the day.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Will all those persons who will be testifying on an item please stand and raise your right hand?
Las personas que quisieran prestar sus opiniones delante de esta junta, por favor, pónganse de pie y alcen la mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
¿Usted jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y únicamente la verdad y que Dios sea su testigo? Por favor, diga que sí si la respuesta es afirmativa.
Let the record reflect that all have responded in the affirmative.
En el archivo público constará que todos han respondido afirmativamente.
Thank you.
Sir, the applicant for item 16I has a family emergency. She's asked if we can please hear the item at this time.
Absolutely. Please.
Item 16I, first reading of proposed ordinance granting a conditional use permit pursuant to City of Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-181, to allow a kindergarten class with a maximum capacity of 26 students, property located at 3300 East 4th Avenue, Units 9 through 10, Hialeah Zone C2 Liberal Retail Commercial District, and legally described herein, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Is the property owner here? Gotcha. Okay, this is first reading, not open for the public.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they
They're
are.
in the back.
Yeah. This is the first reading. Any comments, questions from the council? Second reading, first?
No, it's first reading.
First reading. Sorry. It was moved.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. 16I.
Is Claudia gone? Oh, through the chair?
Yeah, of course.
I see the
So I thought.
recommendations. Other than that, it seems like it's doable, right?
That's
Claudia?
correct. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. And there's a school there now, right?
There is a daycare,
There's a daycare. This is,
and they're adding only kindergarten. So that is the
with the
It's
daycare
UP.
and the kindergarten, it'll be a total of 26 maximum capacity? Or is that just for the kindergarten?
that is just for the kindergarten.
Okay. And I guess since it's not on the conditions, the parking and everything else was sufficient?
The parking is, yes, is through the shopping center.
Where, through the chair?
Yes. Oh,
Where is the school located? I'm looking at a picture here. I see
It's towards the
like I see a
towards the east at the end of them.
not next to the smoke shop, right?
There is, yes, we checked,
Right
there
next
is
to
not a
smoke
smoke shop. There is not. There is, this is a convenience store. They have tobacco products. So we notified actually the business tax division and code enforcement because they have a sign for a smoke shop, but they're not legally a smoke shop.
16 what?
Sí, yes. Mhm.
How does the parking work for children and drop off?
So,
¿Qué me está preguntando?
que cómo trabaja el parqueo, cómo
El shopping tiene dos.
Okay, all right. Okay, if you're gonna speak to the council, you have to give your name and address and translate into English, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. My name is Yaima Simon. ¿Puedo hablarlo en español?
Y yo te traduzco.
Ok, gracias. El shopping tiene dos edificios que están separados por un pasillo.
Shopping has two buildings that's separated by a hallway.
Mi parte es toda la suite de las 7 a las 10. No tiene nada que ver con las otras partes del shopping. Y el parqueo restante, tú sabes, de la mitad del shopping para atrás es mío.
Okay.
And the parking that's on the other end is mine.
Ajá.
Okay.
If I may through the chair,
Yes, ma'am.
se llama Happy New School,
Esa era la otra escuela.
That was
pero es en
high
ese
school.
mismo lugar.
Sí.
Okay. So ustedes, esto es nuevo. Ustedes
Nuevo.
nunca han tenido un daycare. Esta es la primera vez que van a abrir uno.
No, Happy New School era el otro daycare que existía ahí. Yo compré el Happy New School y le cambié el nombre.
Happy New School was the previous daycare, and I bought it, and that's what I have now.
Okay. All right.
¿Cuántos niños tienen hoy?
Ahora mismo 31.
31. So,
Currently, we
agregando
have
estos
31 kids.
26.
Ok, yo tengo la suite, cuando compré Happy New School, era la suite 9 y 10.
Ujú.
Ahora yo tengo la 7, la 8, la 9 y la 10. Estoy en cambio de uso para pasar el daycare a la 7 y la 8, y la 9 y la 10 sería la escuela de kindergarten.
When I bought Happy New Schools, I had units 9 and 10. Now I have 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm currently working to get a change of use for that.
Claudia, so I think my just question, right?
Yes.
I think my concern, anytime we approve this,
Yes.
shopping centers, right? How do you drop off kids? I mean, the safety. I'm assuming that when this is approved by your office and also by the planning and zoning board, right? We've already looked at that this is safe for the kids, right? I just want to make sure that
Sure.
because
So
it's a shopping center parking, right? That means somebody can park there at 8 in the morning, all in the front, and then the kids have to park all the way in the back and walk and
So what happened is in this property, there are two buildings. They are detached. The parking area, it is it is shared by the two buildings, but this is two buildings. So the parking towards the east is just for the daycare and for the school. And the other area is for the commercial. So even though there is connected shopping,
okay,
shopping parking area, they're independent from each other.
okay.
Yes.
So there's signs that say this parking is only for the school.
So the Cuba America Viaje, Agencia de Viaje is gone. The little corner one is gone. So all four of those units now are yours?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, I motion.
Got a motion?
I second.
You got a second?
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 15A, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance amending the future land use map from low-density residential to medium-density residential property located at 4595 East Fourth Avenue, Hialeah, zoned R1, one-family district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. This item is second reading. It is open for public hearing.
Motion.
We got a motion? Can I have a second?
Second.
We got a second. Please take roll.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you, Caesar. Next item.
Item 15B, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance amending the future land use map from low-density residential to commercial property located at 841 East 24th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one-family district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you.
If I may, Cesar Master with offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida. This has a companion case, which is 16E.
Okay.
I was wondering if we could take it out of turn. Thank you.
Yes, please. Please do.
These are through the chair,
Yes.
these are the wonderful people from Casablanca Medical Center. Beautiful operation. This is just an expansion, which is not going to negatively impact the neighborhood. So I motion for it.
Second?
We got a first and a second. Take roll.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Is that for both items? Or,
No, that is only for, the land use, sir.
okay, yeah.
Which
Madam-
one is the corresponding item?
16E.
E. Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance rezoning property from R1, one family district to C1, restricted retail commercial district, granting a variance permit to allow 0 parking spaces where 11 parking spaces are required. In contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-2189, subsection 7, property located at 841 East 24th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Items open for second reading. Any public comments?
Chair.
Yes.
Oh, public comments?
Anybody? Nope. Granted.
Yeah, the only thing that seems like they're gonna, well, that there would need in the variance also would be the parking requirements, but what they're adding is not gonna need parking requirements because there will be no parking access on 24th Street.
Correct.
Everybody's
24th
gonna
Street's
come
gonna
in
be
through the
closed.
main entrance and walk.
Everybody will be
To-
on 25th Street, the main
Yes.
medical building, and they just walk across. We're in the process of closing the alley. So
Yes.
they'll just walk. It'll be one property. There'll be a unity of title also. So
This is the wellness area, right? The wellness.
this is the wellness
Yeah.
center, correct?
I motion.
Second.
You got a first and a second.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Easier. Remember this? You're gonna like it. Next item, please.
Item 15C, first reading of proposed ordinance amending the future land use map from low-density residential to medium-density residential. Property located at 29 East 16th Street, Hialeah, zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
We'll see.
First reading, correct? Yes.
Is there anything, through the chair, is there anything you want to say on your behalf, sir? I look excited to talk.
Okay. Manny Rose Architect, the office is at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342. Basically, this is one of many small projects that we're designing and developing in the southern part of Hialeah that are with a proximity to Palm Avenue or East Fourth or whatever. And with the zoning department guidelines and the proximities to these commercial properties, we are intending to put in a simple 2- and 3-story 4-unit apartment building that will enhance the neighborhood in its entirety. There are some small variances that we're requesting. Parking is not one of them. Setbacks is very little in the request. So we're hereby to request that you all review it and approve it, please.
C. Through the chair. This is a beautiful project here. I get why it has to go to medium density. It's a beautiful project. I don't consider it medium density. If there's no parking problem, I think it's excellent. I motion.
You got a
And it's got an accompanying G also.
Yeah, it's the whole area. Yeah, it's all. We got a first. Yeah, I agree.
He's also got G with this one when we're done with this one, if you want to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Item G.
Please read into it.
Corresponding item.
Well, we got to vote
So
on
we
this
have a
one.
Motion, yes, sir.
Yeah.
We got a
Motion with this one.
We got a second. We got a second. Please take roll.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask a question, but
Yes, go
that's
ahead.
it. No, that's it.
Sorry, Monica.
You ready?
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Okay. That's it.
You
Motion
can still, I
carries.
mean, you can ask, I'm sorry, through the chair, you can still, the council member can still ask a question even though.
Okay, that's it.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Okay, and please read item G.
G, right?
Yeah.
You guys are driving me crazy jumping around today.
Yeah. I got lost to myself. Sorry about that.
Ms. item B.
15G. First reading of proposed ordinance rezoning property from R2, 1 and 2 family residential district to R33, multiple family district, granting a variance permit to allow a rear setback of 17 feet where 20 feet are required, allow an interior west side setback of 4.8 feet where 10 feet are required, allow an interior east side setback of 6.5 feet where 10 feet are required, allow 0 feet drainage separation at the west side of the property, where 2 feet drainage separation is required, allow lot coverage of 44%, where 30% is the maximum allowed, allow a 3.2-foot setback from the right-of-way for the dumpster enclosure where 10 feet is required, and to allow 25% pervious area, where 30% is the minimum required, all in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Sections 98-591, 98-590, 3-5 subsection H, 98-316 subsection 3, 78-108 subsection C1, and 98-2056 subsection B1. Property located at 29 East 16th Street, Hialeah, zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Yes, good evening again. Manny Roots Architect with offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard. Basically, it's a continuation of what I said during the land use. And we're trying to basically generate additional units legally throughout the city in very small lots. That's what we're trying to do in general. And of course, in conjunction with the zoning department, everything we do, we concur and confer with all the parties that are part of the team.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Claudia, can you confirm for me or clarify for me where it says allow 0 feet of drainage where 2 feet of drainage separation is? So what, can you just clarify what that means?
The properties basically are required to have what it's called a 2-foot drainage, which is surrounding the entire perimeter of the property.
So that the water, right?
That runs into the area. If the project basically includes mechanically draining mechanisms, they don't have to have that drainage. But when there is not mechanically induced drainage, they have to have that variance requested.
So
This
there
is
will be
not-
drainage, even though it says 0.
We do have drainage, and after we did this preliminary for presentation, I met with Chris Borges, which is part of the team.
Okay.
And we are generating a gravel area where the cars go on the west side, so that really doesn't pertain to us anymore. As part of the construction documents, that's being changed.
Okay.
And we do have catch basins and fresh drains and so forth, pitching away from that area, so no water will go to that side anyways.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
First, we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Please take roll.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
So now we are on
Perfect.
16A.
16A. Is it? All right. Okay.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance approving the closure, vacation, and abandonment of the right-of-way portion for public use of the south 6 feet of the 12-foot alley lying north of and adjacent to track 36 FD of said plat of the revised plat of 16th edition to Hialeah and the south 6 feet of the 12-foot alley lying north of and adjacent to the east 20 feet of Lot 21, Block 36-F of said plat of 16th addition to Hialeah, and the north 6 feet of the 12-foot alley lying south of and adjacent to the east 140 feet of tract 36 FA of said plat of the revised plat of 16th addition to Hialeah, containing 2,160 square feet, more or less, as depicted and legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Name and address, please.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Felix Pardo. I'm the architect for this particular project, and I'm representing the owner this evening. Robert Fernandez, our counsel, was taken ill today, and unfortunately, he is not here this evening, but I am a registered lobbyist.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. This is the second reading open to the public. Council, any questions? Can I have a motion, please?
This is up through the chair. Oh,
Excuse me.
yes, sir.
Commissioner, one of the things that I wanted to bring up is that we have executed, which is being reviewed by the law offices of the city, declaration of restrictions. One of the restrictions that was placed on there is to deliver a no objection letter from Florida City Gas. There was some confusion on their part. They had it. They just didn't know they had it, and they definitely didn't get it to us until this afternoon. We immediately emailed it to the city, and then I spoke with staff beforehand, and they asked me to read this short no objection letter from City Gas, and that way we could strike it from the declaration of restrictions before you make your motion, sir.
Yeah, fine. Please do read it too.
Okay. This is dated January 27th, 2025, and it's made out to specifically the folio numbers 04, 3105, 010, 03, 10, and the second folio 04, 3105, 011, 0360. To whom it may concern, and this is on the Florida City Gas header, and it says, please be advised that Florida City Gas does not have gas on the existing or proposed facilities at the above mentioned address, and therefore offers no objection to the demolition of the existing building. Please contact Sunshine State 1 Call Florida and the number to locate all utility lines at least 48 hours prior to the demolition and digging. It's the law. If you should have any questions, please contact me. Signed, Suraya Gonzalez, Operations Department for Florida City Gas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Can you please tender that to the clerk so it can be part of the record? And that condition will be deleted from the declaration.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Sir, is the end game here a storage facility?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Motion.
Get a motion?
Not a big deal to ask.
No, it's not. We got a motion.
Second.
We got a second. Please take roll.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
I'm sorry, sir. This item is on second reading and we didn't open it for public participation.
I mentioned it.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega? Ms. Perez? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Item 16B, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a variance permit to allow a single-family home on each substandard parcel, Parcel A, including lots 14 and 15, and Parcel B, including lots 16 and 17, having a total area of 6,915 square feet, or 7,500 square feet is the minimum required, and allow each parcel to have a lot width of 50 feet, or 75 feet is the minimum required, all in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-499. Property located at 316 East 43rd Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violations hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I do want to make a comment, second reading, and it is open for public conversation. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Uni Palacio. I live in 650 West 15th Street, Hialeah, Florida 33010. 33010. Estoy aquí para presentar el proyecto de dos single family home
I'm here to present my project
en el de Hialeah.
in East Hialeah.
Council?
Motion, we learned a lot the first
Last time,
reading.
correct.
It's a nice project.
Yeah. We good? We get a second, please?
Yes.
Okay. Can we take roll?
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega? Ms. Perez? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Sixteen C, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a variance permit to allow a total lot coverage of 48%, where 30% is the maximum allowed. In contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-2056, subsection B2, property located at 1158 West 30th Street, Hialeah, zoned R2, 1 and 2 Family Residential District, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. This was first reading,
Second reading, sir.
second reading. So it's second reading and it is open for public hearing. And how you doing? Do we have it? Granted. Yes.
There's a chair. What, Claudia, what happened here? Was he in, was there a violation or something? Or he just changed?
No.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. I see what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah, the zoning of the property is R2. It's R2, but it was developed, it was constructed as a single family home. He bought it recently and he's trying to legalize what it was done in the property.
So it's acting as a duplex now? No, yes.
Yes, legally acting as a duplex right now,
Two different addresses?
eventually.
Okay.
That's
Motion.
you want it.
2 units. Yes. Correct.
Future.
Thank you.
Councilman? Good. So we got a motion?
Motion.
We got a second. Please take roll.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 16D, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a special use permit to allow the partial retrofit of an existing motel to operate as a mixed-use development project with a maximum of 31 residential units in conjunction with the existing 84 motel units pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-161, granting a variance permit to allow residential use within the M1 Industrial District zoning district and allow 102 parking spaces where 146 parking spaces are required, all in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-1371 and 98-2189, subsection 15. Property located at 1775 West Okeechobee Road, Hialeah, zoned M1 Industrial District, and legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. This item is open for public, second reading of public conversation. Anybody? If not, I'm excited.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Ms. Perez? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Motion carries. The item is
Thank you.
approved.
Next item, please.
16F. First reading of proposed ordinance approving the closure, vacation, and abandonment of the right-of-way portion for public use of Northwest 38th Avenue, Leffler Road, and east of the railroad tracks containing 25,579 square feet, more or less, as depicted and legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violations hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This item is a first reading, and do you have a presentation or something? No, we're good, right?
I'm good. We also have item 16K.
Okay.
We could read that into the record. Thank you.
Yes, please. Well, we first got to vote on this one, right? First reading. Council discussion, or maybe we have a motion, please.
I'm good with a motion on this one.
Okay, motion.
Thank you.
It's going to be a big improvement.
We got a second. Mhm.
Who's the second, sir? Uncle?
Okay.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you. Next item. First.
You're
16K.
you're requesting 16K, right?
16K. Correct.
Thank you.
First reading of proposed ordinance granting a special use permit to allow the operation of a solid waste intermodal rail facility in conjunction with the existing solid waste collection operated by Waste Connections of Florida pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-161, granting a variance permit to allow the expansion of a legal non-conforming use established within the M1 Industrial District zoning district and allow 6.6% pervious area where 10% is the minimum required, all in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-377, subsection A, and in contrast to the Hialeah Landscape Manual dated December 13, 2022, Section E, entitled Tree and Lawn Requirements by Zoning Classification, properties located at 4150 Northwest 37th Court, 4170 Northwest 37th Court, 4180 Northwest 37th Court, 4204 Northwest 37th Court, 3757 Northwest 38th Court, I apologize, 3757 Northwest 38th Street, 3828 Northwest 37th Court, 4100 Northwest 37th Court, and 4070 Northwest 37th Court. Hialeah zoned M1 Industrial District and legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, please.
Melissa Tapinas, law office at 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, Miami. Just for the record, we are proffering a declaration of restrictions. We're working with your planning director on that covenant. There was a public comment earlier today about nothing being in writing, and I just wanted for everyone to be assured that the conditions are being placed into a covenant, which is memorializing them, that runs with the land. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments?
Motion on this one.
We got a motion? Yeah, we got a motion,
Second.
and we got a second, please.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes?
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Next item, please, when you get organized.
16H. First reading of proposed ordinance granting a variance permit to allow a lot width of 50 feet, where 75 feet is the minimum required, allow a total lot area of 6,400 square feet, where 7,500 square feet is the minimum required, allow one of the parking spaces to be located at the front setback where parking in the front setback is not allowed, allow a 2.6 feet landscape buffer where minimum of 7 feet is required, and allow 18% pervious area where 20% is the minimum required. All in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-779, 98-782, 98-781, subsection 5, and in contrast to the Hialeah Landscape Manual dated December 13, 2022, Section E, entitled Tree and Lawn Requirements by Zoning Classification, Property located at 520 East 49th Street, Hialeah, zoned RO Residential Office District and legally described in Exhibit A. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
First reading.
Yes, sir?
Item for first reading, comments, sir?
I'm sorry, this is H, I think. Was this the? No, we haven't voted on this item. No, sorry, go ahead.
Sir,
Good evening, Frank De La Paz, 11,000 Southwest 104th Street, Miami, Florida. What we have here on first reading is a 1989 residential office that is going to be remodeled, redeveloped, modernized, bring back to life. And that's where we at. It's an existing residential office, but it's going to be greatly improved for the benefit of the new owner, who's going to be a owner-occupied small law office by Mr. Lemus, who's here, so he can move his practice there.
I motion. You've never brought us anything bad, Frank. I motion.
I tried to.
If I may.
Fine.
Mr.
Any
De La
question?
Paz?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's gonna be here? Who's, it's gonna be?
It's
on
going to
the
be a
back?
residential office for the law office, a sole practitioner. And because the residential office, when it was approved in ADA, was different, we're going to be demolishing almost half of the building to make new parking and be able to make the place workable. Because as it was, it's no longer feasible to be used for anything.
Okay, and so he has that one lot, right?
Yes, that
520.
one lot.
And is the projected use going to be like increasing it with parking on the bottom? Because
No,
right now there's not.
increase, the projected work is we're going to demolish half the building and parking at the rear. The alley was abandoned
Okay.
with certain. Previously, the alley was the entrance to the parking at the rear, and that alley was abandoned. The city abandoned it and then opened it again and so forth. But we rather have the entrance from the front that try to reestablish entrance to the alley. So we're willing to demolish half of the building to accommodate the proper parking at the back. We will be coming back with a small variance for the width of the driveway to the west because the department, we forgot to include the variance for the width. And that's coming tomorrow for the zoning board. The property to the west, which is also has a RO, they might be thinking about doing something similar so we can end up with two in and out driveways abutting each other like some of the other properties, but I cannot commit to that at this point. So that's why we're willing to reduce the footprint of the building 50% to accommodate our own parking in the back and move the handicap to the front. Remember, residential office is set on the prior site plan. And if you want to modify the prior approved site plan, in which case that we do, we have to come back to you for that modification. If not, we will just go ahead and utilize the property that was originally designed, which we are entitled to, but it's not a user-friendly design.
You have a motion.
We have a
motion?
second.
Take roll, please.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega? Ms. Perez?
Yes, but I'm interested in seeing the site plan because I don't know. It looks very
was-
tight. It looks when it comes, the
Oh,
proposed
okay.
idea. I'm interested in seeing that variant.
It was supplied to you, but we will be gladly bring you other copies.
When they come with it, I have that one. When they come with the developed one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're going to speak to the council, you have to,
When he comes with,
Claudia.
like, with it developed. with
Claudia.
The photos.
to the council, I'm sorry, you have to do
We'll
it on.
bring a big, a large one for second read
Yeah.
then.
Just as a visual.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
To see that.
Yeah, I will bring I will bring a large one, yeah, with the elevations.
Yeah, I have that one. I looked through that one. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
16J. First reading of proposed ordinance granting a special use permit to allow the expansion of the neighborhood business district overlay in relation to a proposed mixed-use development, including 32 residential units and approximately 3,520 square feet of commercial space pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-161, granting a variance permit to allow 56 parking spaces where 77 parking spaces are required, allow 21% pervious area where 30% is the minimum required, and allow a partial waiver of minimum landscape requirements through landscape mitigation as per Section 98-2235, all in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-2189, subsection 4J, and 98-2056, subsection B1. Properties located at 901 East Second Avenue and 925 East Second Avenue, Hialeah, Zone CR, Commercial Residential District, and legally described herein, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the council, Mr. President.
Good evening.
My name is Edna Morales Rodriguez, and I am here on behalf of the owners as the general partner of Rodriguez Family Limited Liability Limited Partnership, which are the owners.
I'm sorry, ma'am, can you repeat your name?
Edna Morales Rodriguez.
Ada.
Edna.
Edna.
DNA. Yep. Okay. This is a project that's been in our hearts and in our minds for a very long time now. This is, if you'll allow me to show you the drawings. On the heels of Hialeah 2050 and on the heels of Hialeah 100 years in September, we're trying to build a beautiful 7-story building. We own 2 properties. 3 lots, 2 parcels. We're unifying doing an assemblage of both properties now to amass a half an acre of 20,250 square feet. Okay. We've done the unification of title with the county. Basically, we already are zone CR, which is commercial residential. To the east of us, the west of us, and the south of us is all CR, commercial business district. Only towards the north of us, there is a residential areas. So we, based on the recommendations and report of the planning board and zoning board, they want us to build a 6-foot CBS wall with some shrubbery there for privacy, for no noise buffering. There is a variance requested for the parking. Now, I know 56 where 77 are required. Now, I know that basically we have 32 units is what we want to build. Okay, we have 32 units we want to build. We have 40, it's a mixed-use building. Commercial on the bottom, 2nd and 3rd floor is going to be parking, and 4 through 7 are the residences, the apartments. Now, it's going to be 32 units. Now, as far as the parking is concerned, what we propose is to have assigned parking. Therefore, our residents will always have their parking spot because there's going to be between the 2nd and the 3rd floor parking, there's going to be 40 parking spaces. Obviously, we're going to have commercial on the 1st floor. So therefore, our tenants, our future tenants will always have priority over the 1st floor when they're not in use because it's going to be commercial, obviously, when the businesses are closed. I keep saying, obviously, I apologize. Bear with me, please. I pray you bear with me. So anyway, basically, it's 32 units. Okay. 32 units, and the parking variance can be complied with by assigning parking spots to our tenants, making it part of our rules and regulations in the lease addendum. Further, there's a requirement from the planning board that's a land, a restriction, a declaration of restriction, which if there should be any negative impact on the parking where people are parking on the swales or just using other private property parking, we will commit to having valet parking for our tenants. And that should be done because they're gonna have assigned parkings anyway. We'll give them one parking per unit. Should address the shortage of the parking.
Thank you.
Through the,
Yes.
through the chair, if I may, please, technical point has been raised. Mrs. Edna, if I may, I don't see you listed as among the property owners. Are you?
Okay.
Are you?
Edna Morales Rodriguez. I am the sole member of Rodriguez and Sons Property Solutions, which is the general partner of the Limited Liability Limited Partnership.
So
You have the owners here, right here with me.
So I'm just clarifying, I'm not trying to, just trying to be sure. So you are the managing member of the limited, of the partnership that owns the property?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, I would say that suffices.
That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a family project. Family project.
Gotcha. Okay. Any comments or
Through the
questions
chair.
from, yes, granted.
Claudia, yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Well, with my zoning director. Thank you. The valet parking plan is up high in the sky. That will never happen. How do we work around this shortage? Does the variance include less than the compliant per unit spaces, obviously? Or is this because of the retail component?
It's because of the commercial. In the case that, let's say there is no commercial component, okay, there will be sufficient parking for the residential.
Right.
So they have 16 parking spaces on the ground and the remaining parking spaces on the second floor. And they have only 32 units that will be sufficient for the 56 parking spaces that they're providing.
But only 40 of those will be their assigned spaces. The 16 on the bottom will be
For the
commercial.
Correct.
So they,
That is what I'm saying. If the question, if I understood correctly,
Yeah.
if they don't have the commercial component, they will.
Right,
supply the
they do
commercial,
have it.
But they have the commercial. Exactly.
So,
And-
and the thing that scares me about this neighborhood, it is a residential, it is surrounded by residential that some of the stuff we approve is surrounded by commercial stuff. If you don't park within your building, you're gonna have to stack the cars one on top. But this one, they can actually impact the neighborhood.
They have.
If they have a parking issue, right?
They
Sorry?
can, that is the idea of the valet. I understand that probably hasn't been done within the city of Hialeah, but being that it is a family developed property, that they will be maintaining the ownership of the property and the management of the property. So a solution can be in place if that parking issue arises during the operations of the building.
So, sorry.
Yes, I understand. We've never actually followed through on something like that effectively, though. Yeah, that's what worries me. Just go ahead. I'm done, yeah.
So how would effectively, to the council member's question, how will we monitor that? How?
So basically, it will be part of your declaration of restriction, correct? There is going to be language establishing the operation of valet service if negative impacts of parkings are recent from the property. In that case, we can coordinate with the management of the property and establish a business license, so they will have to have a valet service. For example, in the medical office that it was just approved today along 25th Street, they have valet services for that property as well. So.
And question for you, Claudia. So under your under the master plan, this this will, talk to me about that as far as about the master plan, we just going forward.
Within the master plan, there is a series of recommendations that are in place if the city were to implement management for parking. For example, if there is areas where they can create on-street parking, to add that, those areas, they can be issue for residents parking only at night. There are other recommendations in the master plan that they could potentially affect or improve these areas or these type of projects, not necessarily this project, but projects as this one.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I do know that the area needs an uplift, so
If I may, through the chair.
yes, please.
Claudia, what's this new valet thing that we're approving and that the last project, like, how did this come up?
Well, valet services are not a requirement per se. There is a service that a business can incorporate in the business operation. Okay, so it's not necessarily that we require to have valet, but this is a condition that it was suggested and it was discussed with the applicant that in the case of if there is any negative impact, it can be included. But other businesses, they do have valet services and it's not a requirement. Sure.
One of our proposals for commercial is going to be a restaurant. Oh, I'm sorry. Would be a restaurant if
Sorry.
feasible, okay? And obviously, we know restaurants always have valet, so we have that in place. But like she said, as a family-owned and operated business, we would always be on top. If there's any negative impact at all, the declaration of restrictions the onus would be on us to make sure we have that valet as soon as we get any complaints for any of our residents. I mean, I live there, we're residents there. So it's not like if I wanted to negatively, I wanted to make it prettier, better, not negatively impact my neighbors.
But right now, isn't it the Rodriguez Morales law firm that's there? But you live in
There's 5 buildings, there's 5 apartments there.
the back of the law firm.
Yeah.
No, alongside, there's one, my business, my law firm, and 4 or 5 apartments.
To the side of it. Claudia, one more question, please. In this radius that we received, what is the highest multifamily building that's nearby? Because I found one that's further down, but it's only 4 stories.
That's probably
That's
along
the tallest.
the vicinity around that area. That is the tallest one.
That is the tallest one. And
Yes.
this one's 7.
7 stories. Mhm. I'm gonna speak to the mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Claudia, if I may, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject. Let me answer the question. There is a building on 9th Street and East 5th Avenue. It's 5 stories.
On where?
9th Street and East 5th Avenue. It's 5 stories. It's 3 blocks east. There's another one on.
Yeah, that one's 4. That's one that I'm looking.
Oh, that's the one you're looking at?
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it
4.
was 5 because I guess
No.
the first floor is very, very high.
Yeah, it's 4.
And then we have the one that's on First Avenue. That's 4 stories, right? But the one on, I
It's
believe the one
489. Yeah.
on Fifth Avenue is 5.
No. 489 is 4. Yeah, it's on 5th and 9th.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Is there, I've seen in other projects, and I'm not sure if this would help accommodate, where there could be roof parking. Maybe that, I just, with 32 units, 40 parkings, I see some of them are 2 and 3 bedroom, right? So, I mean, obviously somebody with a 3-bedroom definitely won't only use 1 parking spot, might need 2.
Yes, I'll cover that.
But then if everything else or almost everything else is 2 bedrooms, sometimes I can definitely see a parking issue.
I can definitely see that. I also definitely see, Hialeah since 1979, but the population is growing. We have Gen Z who are always watching for their carbon imprint on our communities. Therefore, they use bikes, they use mass transportation. We got 2 buses running right across there. The 62, which runs east and west and goes straight into Miami. We're right there next to the Tri-Rail, Metro Rail, and Amtrak. There's a station for Second Avenue, 8 blocks away, which is the Tri-Rail. So I'm just thinking, with a younger generation, Gen Z, like my children, we're gonna have people watching out for the carbon imprints and using more mass transportation, bikes and everything else, and the motor scooters that they use on the beach.
Yeah, I guess my other question would be during planning and zoning, right? We put this out to the public, to the neighbors. I would just say, right, more concerning is what do the neighbors think, right? Did we have anybody show up? Did we send out the mailers? I believe that's protocol.
Nobody showed up, but they sent a letter. So a letter was read into the record.
Okay, was that at planning and zoning
Regarding
or?
and planning and zoning, and it was read into the record. It was the major issue, and the only issue was regarding parking.
Okay, the issue for that was regarding parking.
Yes.
Not that it was gonna be a 7-story building.
No, necessarily.
Okay.
Please, attorney.
Through the chair, if I may, just I can't recall seeing a valet parking component in an application here. I may just not remember, but I have seen them before, and I don't know if the director thinks it's a good idea. The way I've seen them at other times, for example, is the valet parking component as determined by the director and as approved by the director, and not leave it up to the applicant. I don't know if that's
We can agree. We can agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If
Right. You're in the legal department of the city.
right. Well, yes, I know, but I am in the legal department of the city and I'm proffering that. Yeah, well, yeah, but no, it's fine. Don't worry.
so,
Thank you. So,
If
sorry.
me through the chair, I
Yes.
have one more question. Is there any like affordable housing component that comes to this rental unit?
it's not. It's not. She's asking about the pricing basically of the units.
It's workforce, ma'am. It's workforce.
So what's the price point of the units? What are you considering pricing them at?
Well,
For rental.
I'm looking forward 2 years, so I really don't know what the market's going to be. I think it's $22 per square foot. Don't quote me on that, please. I don't have that.
Claudia, but from what we've developed with affordable housing, have you had those conversations with the applicant about maybe?
This application is not taking advantage of the affordable housing. That will be probably an increase in density for what is proposal, and since they have already an issue with the parking, probably it's not the best option to include in this area. But definitely, if it is a proffer that the pricing of the apartments will be within the workforce housing prices, we can develop that within the declaration.
Okay, you say affordable housing, okay? But what would be the advantage or the benefit for us construction-wise, development-wise? Because as it is, we're doing this ourselves, and we have a lot of expenses going into the construction. My construction guys are right there. And so, affordable housing, I would love to give Hialeah what it wants, it deserves. Affordable housing, and I know there's a lot of low-income workers here. You have a lot of factories, factoria, whatever that old adage, but
Well, sorry.
I know that's why we're only workforce right now. And I'm asking her, what would the advantage be for us to be affordable housing?
No, well, I'm not looking at the advantage for you. I'm looking at the advantage of those that are gonna come and rent it, that are in the city, right?
I know that.
So I'm looking more of the resident component, not necessarily the applicant component. As once you develop this project, it's an aggressive project. It's 32 units. Some of them are 2-bedroom, 3. So you're going very aggressive. So if you're going aggressive, I want to see then what's your component? What percentage would you commit to 2 or 3 of the units to be part of the affordable housing component, since you're getting such a variance when it comes to parking, since you're asking for help when it comes to valet? What's the give back? Right?
Okay, I'll give you a give back if you allow me to speak with my family. Because basically that's not my decision to make as a general partner. But honestly, maybe families can't, larger Younger families with children, we can give some of the 3 bedrooms because they have children, but they can't afford a house, like you have to maintain the property, the land and everything, and they would rather live in an apartment. I can't really commit to anything without speaking to the family, and I'm asking you what affordable housing means.
I think that's a conversation to be had with Claudia so that you guys could come up to something that's appropriate before it comes. I wouldn't want you to make a rash decision right now, and you obviously have to go back and speak to your partners, right? But I think that's something that when an applicant comes before us with such an aggressive project, your project is 7 stories, it's 32 units, you're asking for help when it comes to parking, you're asking for help when it comes to valet, there has to be a give and take. And part of that, it's us reflecting now on how to help the residents. So what are you committed to giving a portion of these units to be considered, workforce housing, affordable housing, price unit? And that's a conversation you could have with Claudia. She could give you different components that we've discussed, that we've developed as a city to kind of agree where we could have maybe a portion of these units set at a certain price.
And in regards to the parking, the valet is to address the parking. We will cover everything for the valet, to address the parking, to make sure that there's no parking on the swales of the streets or anywhere else in private residence parking.
If I may, my name
Yes,
is
you
Jeremy
can.
Rodriguez, 1450 Lincoln Road. I'm one of the partners in the trust. So Gen Z here, okay? The 3 bedroom aspect, a lot of times it's gonna be one car, 2 cars. Those are gonna be the apartments that have priority over 2 parking spaces. Because as a 32 units, you're gonna have 40 parking spaces. There's gonna be 8 additional in theory. You're assigned 1 parking space per unit. Gen Z, like I said, single family, 2 bedroom, kid, have a wife. We're trying to look on our carbon imprint, just like 2050 Hialeah says. Hopefully with the development of Hialeah biking lanes, maybe it's not feasible in this moment because you can't see it. But you do have main corridors. You have 2nd Avenue, you have 62nd Street. These are avenues that could be developed. Biking lanes can be easily, you make back the swells, whatever, that's future things. My bigger thing was with the parking situation. If the city allows us, and in accordance with Claudia says, and the director having the declaration, I believe it's called, where we'll do a valet service. Has it been done? No, but I'm sure the wheel wasn't thought of until it was done. So if there's any other questions regarding as far as parking, I'm sure there's some way that we can accommodate or progress in that aspect. If not, then we can always ask for the city council to table the matter until a further date.
Through the chair.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I like, first of all, great representative, right?
Mama Bear.
Rodriguez, Mama Edna. And I love that so many of you, right? The Rodriguez family, I see here that a lot of you are Hialeah residents. So it's beautiful to see that you're building in your city.
I'm born and raised in Hialeah.
Oh,
Don't let the
awesome. That's
address
great.
fool you. I just recently moved over there, but I'm Hialeah Hospital, everything. That's 25 years, so.
Which is great. And I think this project, right, seeing Hialeah family build something, to me, I think that's special. It is a little aggressive, right? I usually we don't really approve many projects that are that many floors. But to me, right, parking, because what happens is if we don't have the parking, then we'll continue with the illegal parking, right? And the parking that's on the sidewalks. And so I'm just trying to see.
But in the concerns, I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
how we can.
The
kind of
parking on the
comply.
swells, can we, as of declaration, can that be put into maybe redo the swells so they won't, that'll eliminate the parking on the parking, like the sidewalks, redoing the curbs?
And I know that our 2050 plan, right? Like we want the sidewalks, right? That's part of because I know we talked about that. I guess my question would be if we have, and maybe, I don't know the answer to this, but the valet parking, where would they park the cars?
Yeah, Claudia, so like the councilwoman said, what would be your recommendations
Yeah.
hearing us?
Definitely to table the item.
Okay.
So it will allow us more time to discuss some of the questions and concerns that the council has. So we can provide a better and enhanced project for UCOM. So it will be to table the item.
Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate it.
I think if we get that addressed, I think, at least for me, I think it would be
A little bit of everything. So Claudia,
a little bit of both.
Less units probably.
Thank you.
okay, thank
Great
you.
job.
So,
We need a motion and
Oh,
We're gonna need a
table.
motion, and are you tabling it to a time, date certain so that can be announced here to avoid the renotice?
We don't, do we have a date?
next
No.
next meeting.
Is it?
can we give them
Soon
next
enough?
meeting?
For next
You-
meeting.
Are you comfortable with that?
Are you sure?
Thank you. 2 weeks, you good next week? For next week? Okay. All right, 24th. Thank you.
Okay, so motion to table to
Second.
June
We
24th.
got a first and a second.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is postponed until June 24th, 2025.
Thank you, guys. You too, guys. Appreciate that.
16L, first reading of proposed ordinance approving a final plat of Bascarville Center, accepting all dedication of avenues, streets, roads, and other public ways, together with all existing and future planting of trees, shrubbery, and fire hydrants. Property legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Hey, I know you. Welcome.
Familiar
Good evening.
face.
Javier Morejon with Johnny Bar and Associates, 777 Northwest 72nd Avenue, Suite 3025, 33126. I am the surveyor of record. If you guys have any questions in regards to this, it's a replat.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Through the chair.
Granted.
This is the great Francisco Dieguez,
Yes, sir.
the doctor. Wonderful, wonderful cutting edge practice, bringing things to Hialeah, cardiovascular wise that we didn't have, that we wouldn't have had in any outpatient center. It is state of the art. It's beautiful. So I motion.
Second. There's a motion by Zagmi and a second by Junco.
We got a first and a second.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for June 24th, 2025.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You.
And item 16M is postponed until the next city council meeting. I announced it in the beginning, 16M.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry? 16M, the next.
17A, which I'm looking at here, or was that removed from a later
I
version?
know what you're looking at because 17 is a.
Okay, that must have been an earlier,
Okay.
sorry.
Sure.
Have an earlier version. Okay.
My apologies. We done? Yeah?
No, well, the agenda is always a never changing document, so.
Yeah, I promised the council, no, I was a rookie and I was saying yes to all that. It will not happen again. Maybe for emergency.
Final decision.
The
Final?
final decision, isn't it postponed?
Also, no.
That's.
That's the car wash. 16M is the car wash.
No, that's M.
17.
Alex.
That's M.
I
Alex.
have a 17 on.
Okay.
You want to say something?
You forgot to send yourself an
There is a 17A?
Yeah.
There's a 17A.
I got 17.
Madam City Clerk, I'm not drinking. There is.
Yeah.
Okay, but is the person here? No.
But it's can we read it anyway, though?
We can, yes,
Yeah.
of course. 17A, proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2025-06, allowing a front setback of 17.90 feet where 20 feet are required for the legalization of an existing aluminum porch, property located at 217 West 35th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
Is this the car wash from last time?
No.
No, this is a final decision. Through the chair, can we check if the person online is the applicant for this item, please?
Claudia, is it the front porch that has that aluminum?
Yes.
Okay, I see it here.
Through the chair.
Yes.
A 2-foot set, they're asking, I don't know who the owners are, no, but they're asking for a 2-foot setback. And they're legalizing and complying with all other violations there. And I don't think it's a big ask.
And
I
motion.
motion.
Motion?
I motion.
I second.
Second, we got a first and a second.
Claudia, are you okay with that?
Yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
It looks.
It's basically the front. They require 20 and they only have 17.9.
Oh, is it the one on the side?
It's on the front.
Yeah, yes, 1 second, please. Thank you.
I see two. I see an aluminum porch in the front and then I see one adjacent to like the neighbor's house.
Yes, but they're removing that one.
It's not that one.
No, it's the one on the front that they're requesting the variance for. And there's a series of improvements that they need to do throughout the property to legalize everything. But the majority of them, the items, they are either removing them or they're doing a demolition also of a portion of the driveway, which is what you see on the side.
They're doing a demolition of this, of the driveway?
A portion of the driveway for the 2-foot drainage.
Oh, I think there's someone online.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Someone online who evidently wants to speak on this application.
Yes, please, name and address.
Sylvia Lopez, 217 West 31st Street, Hialeah.
Okay, welcome.
Good afternoon, actually, good evening. It's Elisa Garcia, 5721 Northwest 194th Street, Hialeah, Florida, 33015.
It's fine, it's fine. Okay,
Don't worry, go ahead.
don't worry, go continue, please.
We did comply with all the requests from zoning. We are demolishing she's the new buyer, by the way. She didn't build anything on this property. She's just trying to comply with the zoning requirements.
Got it. Okay. We got a first and a second? It's the front porch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You good? Okay, all right. We got a first and a second. Take roll.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Junco.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Easy money.
Council, it won't happen again, I promise. No, yo también, y me perdí.